guys, so the Pugs and I want to wish you a happy National Flamingo Week. Remember I told you we made that up because that's not really a thing, but we're having so much fun learning about flamingos. I just want to keep on going, right? We've been reading 3 different stories this week, and let's review the stories that we've enjoyed this week so much about flamingos. So the first story that I read you was actually a nonfiction book, and it was this one right here. It was called Flamingos, and it was nonfiction. We learned so many interesting facts and information about flamingos reading this book. The second flamingo book I read to you yesterday was such a good story about Sylvie, and Sylvie was trying to be someone that she wasn't created to be. Remember that? And in the end, she learned that being herself was just the best, because you always feel your best when you are your real self, right? So that was such a good story. This was a fiction story that I read to you yesterday, and today I have such a wonderful story to read to you. It is called Pinky Got Out. Come on, Maya. Maya. Sorry, guys, if you hear snoring or weird noises, you know what it is. It's the Pugs, okay? Come here, Maya. Maya, get ready. Let's read. The story I'm going to read to you today is called Pinky Got Out. All right, so before I read this story, I want to tell you what we're going to do as we're reading the story. We are going to make connections. And you might be thinking to yourself, what does that mean, make connections? It's so easy, and the most amazing thing is that your brain does it automatically, and you don't even realize you're doing it. But today we're going to talk about it, and I'm going to make you aware so that as you're reading the story, and I'm reading it to you, you can make those connections by yourself, and you can say, hey, I just made a connection. All right, so here we go, making connections. The first connection I'm going to talk to you about is text to text. And it's just, the word text means words. So when I say text to text, it just means book to book, okay? So I already made a connection. This is when I say, I'm going to read a book about a flamingo today called Pinky Got Out. And wait, I read a book yesterday about a flamingo, but her name was Sylvie. So I made a connection. That's a text-to-text connection. It's when you are reading a story and it reminds you of another story that you've read, or the characters, or something that happens. So we just made our first connection, text-to-text connection, okay? The next connection is text to self. All that means is when we're reading a story and something that happens in the story reminds us of something that happened to ourselves. And today, as I'm reading the story, I know that you're going to make that connection several times through this story. You're going to say, wait, I did that myself. So that is a text to myself connection, okay? So that's going to be the second connection that we are going to make. And the third one is text to the world. I don't know if you can see it because Pugs are in the way, but it's text to the world. And all that means is when we are reading the story, if we hear something that reminds us of something that we've seen on the news, or our mom has talked to us about that's happening, our family's been talking about it, and you can say, oh yeah, I heard that was happening. And so it's something out there in the world, something in the book that reminds you of something you've heard or seen out in the world, okay? So those are the 3 connections that we're going to try to make today as we are reading this story. And I have to tell you something. I have to tell you why, because you might be thinking, okay, that's really cool, Miss Nell, we're going to do that. That's great. But why do we do this? What is the purpose? It's very important. The reason we make connections when we are reading a story or nonfiction or any text is it helps us understand the words that we're reading. It helps us to comprehend. That means to understand. Another reason we do it is because it helps us relate to the character in the story. And all that means is it helps us to feel how the character's feeling or what the character is experiencing, because I may have experienced the same thing. I can understand them better. And the third reason we do it is it helps us remember either the facts or it helps us remember the story that we're reading. So really, it's all about using what you know, your experiences, your background knowledge to help you understand what you're learning and what you're currently reading. So that's why. So are you guys ready to read Pinky Got Out? You're gonna love this story. The author is Michael Portis and it's illustrated by Lori Richmond. And as you can look at the cover and see, this is a cartoon drawing of a flamingo. So I bet your brain has already said to itself, oh, that's a fiction story. And if you did, you are so right. Here we go. Today's schedule: field trip day, tour of the zoo. All right, so this story, the setting is taking place at the zoo, and this is a little class. The zookeeper is taking them around a tour of the zoo. And I bet before we even got through the first page, you made a text-to-self connection. I bet you said to yourself, hey, I went to the zoo on a field trip with my class. If you did that, you already made a connection. Good job. All right, so here we go. And the sign says, welcome, students. Welcome to the zoo. Showing you around is my favorite thing to do, said the zookeeper. These birds always stick together. So today, be like a flamingo and stick with your flock. A flock is a group of birds. Uh-oh, said Penny. And Penny is one of the character in the story. And she sees that Pinky the bird is flying out of the area, the caged area where the flamingos are. But no one else is noticing. She says, uh-oh. Next are the meerkats, explained the zookeeper. Some forage for food while the scouts watch out for food. Pinky got out, said Penny. So in the meerkats, Penny is spotting Pinky. She's not supposed to be in there, is she? Is she, Loopy? Some seals hold their breath while sleeping underwater, said the zookeeper. Look! And there's Penny floating in the water. She's swimming around with the seals. But no one else is noticing but Penny. Pinky got out, said Penny. Have you seen Pinky? Asked Penny. Who? Asked Mia. Pinky, said Penny. And there's Pinky flying around with the monkeys. Oh my goodness. Loopy, isn't this funny? The python can grow as long as a garden hose, said the zookeeper. Pinky, said Joey. He got out, said Penny. So all the students are now realizing everyone except who? The zookeeper. The zookeeper doesn't even know Loopy. Now they're on their way to the pandas. What happened to Pinky? Asked Ike. We lost him, said Penny. Let's see if we can find him. Oh, I can see a little bit of pink in those green bamboo trees. There's Pinky's leg. She's hiding in the pandas. It's a myth that ostriches stick their heads in the sand to hide, said the zookeeper. Sometimes it looks that way when they're finding food. Pinky got out, said Penny, and there's Pinky in the ice cream cart with her head in the cart. Be your favorite animal zoo photo. So all the students are picking a zoo animal to get their picture taken as. Have you ever done that? If you've done that, you just made a text-to-self connection. I'm sure that you've put your face inside something to take a picture. Maybe it was at Disney World or maybe at Busch Gardens or somewhere at the beach you've done that. But they also have those at the zoo. And if you thought that, you just made a text-to-self connection. Good job. We're coming to the zoo shop, which is at the end of our tour, said the zookeeper. Remember, a flock always stays together. Uh-oh, a flock always stays together except one person got out. Who was it in that flock? Who was it? Oh, it's Pinky. Pinky got out. Does anyone want to say what they've learned today, said the zookeeper? This is great. What do you think all the kids are going to say at once to the zookeeper? Pinky got out! And look how shocked the zookeeper's face is. She's like, what? Bye-bye, Pinky, said Penny. So there's Pinky back where she belongs with the zookeeper, and she said, squawk. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and wait, said the zookeeper. Where's Pinky? So as the zookeeper is closing up the zoo for the night, she counted, and there's supposed to be 10. One is missing. Who was it, Loopy? Come here, Loop. And the very last page is really cute. It's Penny's house, and on the top of the roof is Pinky, and she says, squawk. So she's a little escape artist, isn't she? She got out again. That Pinky is so sneaky. So the last text connection I want to talk to you about is text to the world. When I was reading this, I thought of something that I heard. It was about a year ago, and it happened in Texas. There was a zoo. Come here, Maya. And the howler monkeys, there were 3 howler monkeys that escaped from a zoo in Texas. And it was a true story that was on the news. So as I was reading about Pinky getting out of her zoo, my mind made a connection to a story